Hi everyone, welcome back to the Pepper Your Talk channel. Today I have a very special guest who is my friend Olivia.
Hi guys.
And we are going to be continuing the I Have a Dream series. I know that I have been absent for a few weeks, but it's all good. I've just been really busy with getting some work done. And I really wanted to feature a few people on the Dreamers section as well. So we're going to have two other guests after Olivia in the other two videos. So I'm stretching this out a bit. But Olivia's going to speak to us about her career kind of path within fashion. She's always worked, fashion and marketing and that type of stuff. So she's going to speak to us about that today and speak about how the dream definitely starts off as one thing and it changes. And how you have to be kind of open to the change and as scary as it is, or no matter what gets in your way, you just have to keep going really and grow through, I guess. Yes. So tell us a bit more about like where it started for you. Like what was the big dream for you initially?
It's so funny because, you know, back in the day when the Hills was on, I used to watch that with my friend.
Me too.
This is real honesty. And I saw like you can work in fashion and have a career. Like you don't have to be a model. You can do things like behind the scenes. So that's what ignited it for me. So marketing is basically all the campaigns that you see, they've been created by people. So it's basically creating the visual and the messaging that the brand will like portray. So like the customers, like, you know, like
give us an example.
Audiences.
Like what is your favorite marketing campaign? Doesn't have to be a brand you've worked for.
Yeah, I'm trying to think a good campaign. I really like perfume campaigns. I think they're really strong. They can, you know, like they use completely different messaging than from what the product is, which makes people buy into it. Whether they're, even if they're selling sex, they're selling love, you get a strong message
it's
from
emotion,
the campaign.
Exactly. That's true.
So
actually.
I think it's really cool because basically you can sell water and make it be like the best thing in the world.
Convey
I thought that
any
was
emotion.
I loved the whole process of doing that. So that's what made me feel like, oh, okay, I think I like this. It works well with my, you know, like my personal like skill set. And I love fashion, so I thought I can bring the two together and really have this like dream job. So that's kind of what kind of started it all for me.
So I know you did like loads of internships. That is a major key. I didn't do any. You guys know this. Do loads of internships because that put Olivia in a really good position.
So I came out of uni, I interned, you know, at a few different places. And then when I finished, it was like, look for a job. And obviously, you know, the grind for that is long, it's hard, it's not easy.
So you're not the only one if you're struggling for a job.
Even with having 2-3 internships under my belt as a graduate, I'm still up against a lot of people. I still went to loads of interviews and I still didn't get it. Then I did get a job for a beauty company. They're small, they're a US brand, but they're here in the UK as well, called Red Carpet Manicure UK. So I worked for them. So I did their retail marketing, e-commerce marketing, and I handled their social media.
Wow.
At the time, that's when Instagram was proper blowing up. So I was like 2012. So then they didn't have an Instagram. So when I started the company, I was like, you need an Instagram. So I helped them launch that.
That's a big achievement.
And helped them revamp their socials, their Twitter, just have a bit of a voice. So that's kind of how I got in. So I did learn a lot. I learned retail marketing, speaking to retail outlets like ASOS buyers, Debenhams, Harvey Nichols.
And that was as a newbie, like they gave you that responsibility. Well, this is what I say to you guys about small companies. If you work for a small company, you what word am I saying? Generally, not genuinely. Generally have bigger responsibilities.
You really do. And only now that a few years more experience, I appreciate that where I started, because back then it's not a Dior, it's not a Burberry, it's not those huge brands, but the work is still the same. So when
if
I do
anything,
go
maybe even more.
At least I can say the same skill set and the same story and give the same output, but I just work somewhere different. Like really appreciate the jobs and the skills that you learn. But then I was there for 2 years. I wanted to be a part of more of a global company, and I went to an agency side, and they're more corporate, so they do branding and marketing and different things, and that I learned a lot. It was different. I didn't work on a fashion client. I worked on an engineering client. I worked on an art client and like services. So different from someone.
Was it different, or would you say like the basics are the same?
Yeah. So like speaking with like an art client, he was Russian, so you had to take into consideration their culture and how to like, you know, like
that
apply
is true. Yeah. And what a lot of people don't realize, that applies to fashion as well. When a big fashion company creates a campaign, they have to be conscious of the different regions they like represent. So like say we create a campaign campaign that's amazing for the English market, you have to think about how it translates in the Middle East, because they're more conservative and all that type of stuff. So that's like a great part about the business side that is so interesting. So like when you get down to
I feel like I sharpened up on my strategy skills, which is really important in marketing and in the industry today. It's all about strategy with all the different things, you know, like like coming up like influencer. There's just so much stuff. So I homed in on that. I homed in on finances, which I didn't really get a bit to. That bit is boring. It's not the best bit, but now I can say I know how to look at a budget. You can't have a happy
client if you're not within budget.
Yeah, now I know how to look at a budget, know how to like segment it, know how much we can put towards this bit or that bit. So I learned basic disciplines. That's not fun. It's not fashionly fun, but it's a skill set I need to take me to like a next level. So just appreciate these small dull moments, because I think with fashion it's very glamorized.
That's a good term, the dull moments, because that's what you learn the most.
That's what you do learn the most.
The fun parts are just fun. Like that's it. It's not learning.
There's companies when we would have to sit down in the afternoon and go through the budget and make sure we're not going over budget. If we are, how can we like reduce it? Boring, but it had to be done. But now I have that, and it's. I feel like with people coming up, just don't get lost in those dull moments, because it really will work. I want to quit
my job, it's boring. No.
Like, what do you think those marketing directors are sitting at the top? They still look at numbers. Like, when they have, you know, Jordan Dunn on the campaign, they still have to look at the revenue to see how much it goes back to the sales. Like, it's one long process that you don't see. But when you work in these companies and industry, you really see that.
Yeah.
So don't get put off by that, and like embrace it. It's really going to help you in the long run.
Yeah, and I wrote an article about that, plug, about the love-hate relationship you have with your job. And like with People Talk, obviously it's my dream and it's my baby and all that type of stuff. But there are parts of the business, like every day, that I have to do that I don't enjoy, like looking at, how am I going to capitalize from this, or how am I going to do that, and it's just not fun, like how to register the business and re-registering and speaking to this person about that. I'm just like, I don't want to do this stuff, but if I don't do it, the business can't run. And I just realized that like job satisfaction is really relative, because I personally feel like you can only really have 80% of a job that you love. The rest of it is the stuff that you just have to love. Learn, what phrase did I say? Learn to love or love to hate or whatever. Yeah, love to hate. You have to love to hate it. Like, as in you hate it, but you know, it's part of the job and it's what comes with it.
Literally.
Yeah. You're now doing your own thing.
Yes.
So I feel you, girl. Yeah. I know how good and amazing and fun it is, but also know how hard it is.
But it's different, because mine in your situation of doing your own thing went completely
so I chose.
Different.
I was very
She
conscious.
chose to leave, but I was kind of a bit forced to. And that's okay, because everything always works out in the end. So just remember that. But originally, I was working for a fashion brand. Not going to disclose who they are, because that's just bad manners. But I was working for a fashion brand, and they offered me the job really quickly. I went in there, met them, they loved me, I did the task that they wanted to do, then offered me the job. Great. Then when I was there, I would say they just didn't take to me. I can't put my finger on it. I just know certain like scenarios happen. As you know, I am a fashion blogger. I do things outside of work. They had an issue with that, point one. Bearing in mind, this wasn't my CV, and I communicated it anyway.
Yeah, you always stated that.
Yeah, so they knew that anyway. And I think when you work in fashion, you have to be careful with the kind of fashion brand you want to work with.
Yeah,
I think that's my lesson that I took out of it, because now that I look back, it's not the kind of fashion brand I do want to work with. So you have to be very conscious of that, of their culture, what they embody, who they stand for. Is that for you? If it doesn't, it's gonna literally
conflict with
your core values.
Like, I don't know if many of you guys know this, but when you work for a brand, quite a big brand, they always tell you that in your Instagram bio, Twitter bio, you have to put if you want to write in your bio who you work for, you also have to put views on my own or something. So you see a lot of people that put my views on my own, and if you'd never understood what that meant, that's what it means. The brand has asked you to put that in there. But this was a bit different. This was like monitoring the content of your social media.
And I did one picture and they had an issue with that, and I don't think it was just the image. I think it was like the picture. I don't think there was nothing wrong with the picture. It was the fact that I was doing it and it wasn't all about them. And I respect that from a business perspective.
Right.
However, from a personal perspective, in terms of knowing your employee, when they were very transparent in the beginning, to kind of what you loved about them, to use that against you when you're in the business now, is quite conniving.
The word or the phrase that comes to mind is conflict of interest. And that's another thing. If you want, we just given you the major keys right now. If you want to work in fashion, and you do something outside of your job, they're gonna ask or gonna look into whether it's a conflict of interest. So whether it kind of clashes with what the brand stands for or what you do at the brand.
Yeah.
In my opinion, what you were doing is not a conflict of interest. And they were always aware that you worked on external projects. And like you said, they loved that about you.
Yeah.
They loved that you had this get up and go spirit. So what do you think was like the push that made them really uncomfortable with the fact that actually...
I think really when I think about it is when it's like when you're in those brands, there's certain type of people that fit, and that's the reality of this business. You know, they come from certain backgrounds, they come from a certain way of living their life. So when they meet someone that's a bit different,
not even different, just not part that doesn't fit in the box.
Yeah, doesn't fit in the box. They either choose to love you and hate you, and that's just the reality of it.
Yeah,
I'm not the owner of the business. I'm not senior management, so it's up to them. They can change their mind. It's not really working
right
out.
Fit. Yeah,
and that was the conversation. And was like, it's not really working out. And then I just had to take the L and leave. Yeah. Just like I've worked in great places. I've got great skills. I've always been asked to do things on projects for people, and I was like. And people asked me for my advice on certain marketing, PR stuff. So I was like, I could actually just do this myself. And to be honest, that's what's happened. I've basically launched my own agency. And I still blog. That's not, it's not, like stopping. It's another layer of me.
Yeah.
And I feel like if that's who you are, that's what you want to do, don't stop.
So I would say like 2016 has been a major shift for you because you
completely.
started this job in 2016 thinking that, right, this is my next career jump. This is what I'm going to grow in.
Yeah.
I'm going to progress through this company. And then that didn't work out. And now you're doing your own thing, which you didn't expect to be doing so soon.
No, because
you always wanted to do that.
I always wanted to work for myself, but I thought later on when I'm like 30 and I've got all this, skills and stuff that happened earlier. That's why you can make certain plans.
Yeah, the dream changes.
And don't let anyone's judgment of you be the end of who you are. That's not true. Facts. That's just not true. Whether I fitted in or didn't fit in, I'm still Olivia and I'm still the person who has those skills.
Yeah. I don't want to say you are your skills, but your skills can take you places that you'll never expect. Did you think that you would be literally living your dream, running a business based on these skills that you started acquiring from the first internship you ever did?
Like, exactly. Like, the dream changes at every moment because really I started the year thinking, this is going to be my job. Yes, I'm going to be in this company. Yes, I'm going to be working here. And it didn't happen, but that's okay. And now through maintaining my skill set, knowing what I wanted to do, which I think is really important, having a focus, wherever you go, if that focus is still there, you can manifest it, and that's basically what's happened. My skill set and my purpose have aligned and happened in a different environment, not the environment I thought it would be in, and that's okay, but it's somewhere else, and I'm still doing the work that I wanted to do, and I can still be a blogger that I am and have all my other outlets and do that. And
your blog is growing as well. You're getting more and more interest.
Yeah.
So can you imagine if you had given it up at that point, you never would have known how much you could have grown in it?
Literally, I think about that sometimes. Picture if I was still there and I dumbed down a bit to fit in. Well, then what would have flourished? Your little skill sets, all the things you do outside, all the things you learn, they're just layers to who you're. You're not just one thing. You're not just this one company. You're not this one role. You're not this one title. You are a whole element of things. And I think you have to embrace that. Changes. Fashion is very fickle, guys. It's beautiful, but it is very fickle. So through the changes, it's just don't lose yourself. Don't get lost. Because then when the role goes or the company changes, then what about you? Where were you left? And I think that's my biggest lesson, was where was I left? And the fact that I found that and made something off of it is just so amazing.
It's a testament to just you as a person.
Literally.
You, outside of any job, any role, any whatever, okay, you had to really scramble and think, okay, Olivia, get it together. Who am I? What am I good at? What do I know?
That was the process. Yeah. That literally was the process. And don't be scared of those processes, because obviously it's not a fancy moment. It's not an Instagrammable worthy moment, but it's a real life moment and it happens. But those moments always prepare you for what's next.
Yep.
So don't be scared of that.
Preaching.
So literally now I don't mind what is going to happen next. What is the worst that can happen?
As you have a bit of time, off work or off uni during the Christmas period, I really want to urge you guys to write down who you are, like really search yourself. And I spoke about this in the 3rd workshop, and I'm actually going to do the 4th workshop in the new year so that more people can come. Olivia will be there. But I can send you this form that I have as well. It's like the self form, and it has all these questions that really makes you confront yourself and be like, oh, I don't want to answer this question about myself. But once you do, it puts everything in perspective and kind of tells you who you really are. And you can just move forward with that. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I always say this, self-reflection is the hardest thing, and it takes a long time. But once you have a firm grip on who you are, you're unstoppable. And I hope you've like really listened into Olivia's story, because it's not easy as well.
It's not easy. It hasn't been like perfect. I interned. I worked for free. I got them just by cold calling. I didn't have a contact in the, you know, like in the in the industry.
Yes, I don't know if that works these days.
I literally just Googled cool PR companies, and I found someone Googled, and I was like, hi, I wanted an internship. And I would get the email, follow up through email, and luckily, you know, some places really came through. So you'll start somewhere, even if it's nowhere.
Well, you've been really determined from day one.
Yeah.
Thank you for speaking to us today. Finally, share your social links.
Oh yes, guys.
Where can they find you?
So I have my blog, which is a fashion and lifestyle blog. So that's www.olivia-gold.com. So you can follow me there.
Yeah.
I'm on Instagram and Twitter, and on Facebook, which is Olivia_GOLD, Olivia Gold. So you can find me all there. And if you have any questions, if you have any questions,
comment below. You've got a Gmail account, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if you've got a Gmail account, then she can comment right back.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you have any questions about marketing, PR, fashion, being kicked out, being called back in,
like
starting your own thing,
the roller coaster of it, like I've experienced it firsthand. It's not easy, but there's such a great lesson in it. And just be woke to that, to really embrace it, and you'll come through stronger in the end, and it'll open you to like a whole new world, which is good. Not bad.
I'm not gonna sing. All right then, guys, thank you so much. This has been Olivia. She's been amazing. Thank you for sharing with us as well.
Thank you.
Got really personal.
Yeah.
And I guess we're gonna say bye. So see you again next Monday.
Bye, guys.
Bye.